If you want to sharpen your mind, protect your brain as you age, and reduce your risk of cognitive decline, what you eat matters way more than you think. So, today we're diving into the ultimate brain boosting diet, also known as the mind diet. It's a science backed way of eating that can reduce your risk of Alzheimer's disease by up to 53%, support memory and focus, and fuel your brain for peak performance. And the best part of this diet is that there's no strict meal plans, there's no calorie counting. It's just simple, sustainable food swaps that can transform your brain health. So, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to eat, what to limit, and most importantly, how to get started. So, let's dive in. The MIND diet stands for Mediterranean Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay. It combines the Mediterranean diet, known for its heart health, whole food approach, and the DASH diet, which was designed to lower blood pressure. But here is where it gets interesting. This diet isn't just good for your body, it's specifically designed to protect your brain. And why does it work? It works because it focuses on foods that reduce oxidative stress, which is when unstable molecules cause damage to brain cells, speeding up aging and memory loss, and it helps to lower inflammation. Chronic inflammation can contribute to Alzheimer's disease, depression, and brain fog. It also helps to support brain energy metabolism and ensures that your neurons have the fuel they need to stay sharp. And the best part is that you don't even need to follow it perfectly to see any benefits. Even moderate adherence is linked to a 35% lower risk of Alzheimer's. And the earlier that you start, the better. But if you feel like you're starting late, it truly is never too late to nourish your brain. Like, the best day to start taking care of your brain is truly today. I know that sometimes it can feel difficult to want to eat for your brain because it's something that you can't see, but you feel it. It's in your mood, it's in your focus, it's in your motivation. And when you do start nourishing and supporting your brain in the right way, all of these factors and literally everything else in your life just significantly starts to improve. So when we look at the MIND diet, as I mentioned before, it's not about strict rules. So how the MIND diet works is that it encourages eating more of these 9 powerful foods that fuel brain function. So let's go through what they are. Number 1 are leafy green vegetables. So things like kale, spinach, collard greens, and salads. These are loaded with brain protecting antioxidants and folate. So you want to aim for at least 0.5 to 1 cup of these per day. Number 2 food group it recommends are other vegetables, so non-starchy options. So things like bell peppers, cucumbers, tomatoes, and zucchini. These provide essential vitamins and fiber without spiking blood sugar levels. Another food group, probably one of my favorite, are berries. Berries are just so great for your brain health. So things like blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, they're rich in a compound called flavonoids that protect neurons and enhance memory. So eating berries about, 2 to 5 times per week is recommended at around a half a cup per servings. Nuts are another food group that this diet really recommends. Nuts are packed with healthy fats and vitamin E, which slow cognitive decline. And this diet doesn't really recommend any specific kind of nut. So really any kind works based on this diet. And you want to aim to get at least 5 servings of nuts per week. So like about a handful. Olive oil. This is one of the best oils for brain health because of how high it is in omega-3s. And I have heard multiple times that 2 tablespoons of olive oil is like the way to go, one of the healthiest foods that we can eat every single day. So you want to use 2 tablespoons. You can use it in cooking or dressing, or if you want to be really brave, just take a shot. That's what I usually do, a shot of olive oil. It is great. And it just helps to coat and nourish your insides and one of the best sources of healthy fats. Another food group that is encouraged with this diet are whole grains. So things like quinoa, brown rice, oatmeal, whole wheat pasta, and you want to aim for at least 3 servings every single day. Why are whole grains great? Because they stabilize blood sugar and they prevent energy crashes. Way better to opt for these than to opt for things that are made with white flour. Fish is another amazing brain food. So things like salmon, sardines, tuna, trout, and mackerel, they're rich in omega-3s, which support memory and they reduce brain inflammation. So you want to aim for at least 2 to 3 servings of fish per week. beans and legumes. So the Mind diet does promote a bit more of a plant-based diet, and they really encourage eating things like lentils, chickpeas, black beans, and soybeans because they're high in fiber and plant protein, and they help to keep the blood sugar steady. So you want to aim to have at least 4 meals a week with these plant proteins incorporated. And in general, rotating between plant and animal protein is great for you because some types of animal protein, and we'll get into it, can actually end up causing more inflammation in the body. And they also recommend things like poultry, so things like chicken and turkey, but you do want to skip the fried versions. And these proteins, they provide lean protein without the inflammatory fats. So you want to aim for about 2 servings per week. And so when it comes to this diet, you don't have to be perfect. As I mentioned before, even following this diet moderately has been shown to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease and cognitive impairment. So these are the 9 types of food groups that this diet really encourages. Now, let's talk about the foods that you want to cut back on, not completely eliminate. You just want to aim to reduce it. So food number 1 is butter and margarine. So you want to stick to less than 1 tablespoon per day and swap for olive oil whenever possible. And that's because butter and margarine are high in saturated fat that can really cause inflammation in the body. Cheese is another one. So this diet recommends that a little bit is fine, but you want to aim for less than once per week to really limit, again, those saturated fats. Red meat is another food group. So that includes things like beef, pork, and lamb. You want to keep it to at least about 3 servings per week max, and instead you want to prioritize leaner proteins. Fried food is another big one, so trying to eat less than once per week since they are usually loaded with inflammatory fats. And another food group is pastries and sweets, so that includes things like ice creams and cookies and cakes, and I know that's a tough one to exclude, and so this diet recommends no more than 4 times a week. And so why is, again, avoiding these 5 food groups important? It's because they contain saturated fats and trans fats, which increase heart disease risk and inflammation, both of which are linked to Alzheimer's disease and cognitive decline. And again, wanted to emphasize here, which is why I like this diet or this version of this diet, because it doesn't talk about you can't ever have a sweet or pastry again or never have any sort of fried food. It just talks about really limiting these not so great foods and making sure most of your diet comprises of the other foods. So you still get to enjoy a little bit. And why does the Mind diet work so well? It's because the Mind diet, it fights 2 major brain damaging processes. So number 1 is reducing oxidative stress. So your brain is extremely sensitive to damage from free radicals, and antioxidants and things like leafy greens, berries, and olive oils can help to protect the brain cells from premature aging. And number 2 is that chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation damages neurons and it increases Alzheimer's disease risk, and the Mind diet is packed with anti-inflammatory foods that keep the brain functioning at its best. Now we're going to dive into my favorite part, which is taking a look closer at the research studies behind the Mind diet and why it's such a powerful tool for brain health. Okay, so this isn't just theories. They're based on long-term studies involving people showing real measurable improvements in memory, cognition, and longevity. So the first study that I want to educate you on looked at the Mind diet and the risk of Alzheimer's disease. One of the most well-known studies on the Mind diet was conducted by researchers at Rush University Medical Center. They essentially followed 923 older adults between the ages of 58 to 98 over 4.5 years to analyze the impact of this diet on their cognitive health. Here's what the researchers found. People who followed the Mind diet most strictly had a 53% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease compared to the ones who followed it the least. And even those who followed it moderately had a 35% lower risk, meaning you don't have to be perfect to see major benefits. What this means is that the earlier you start, the better, but it's never too late to improve your brain health. Even if you only follow part of the diet, you can significantly reduce your risk of memory decline and neurodegenerative disease. Another longitudinal study, which is a type of research that follows the same individuals over an extended period of time to track changes and long-term effects, analyzed the higher Mind diet scores and their impact on brain volume, memory, and dementia risk. And the key findings in this study was that they found that people who followed the Mind diet had higher memory scores, meaning that they retained and recalled information better than those with poor diet adherence. Larger total brain volume is something they noticed as well. So, brain shrinkage is a common marker of cognitive decline and neurodegenerative disease. The study found that those with a higher mind diet score had significantly more preserved brain volume, which protected them against dementia. They also found that participants who consistently followed the mind diet had a reduced risk of developing dementia and a related cognitive impairment. So, what does this mean? This means that the mind diet doesn't just slow cognitive decline, it physically preserves brain structure, helping to protect against conditions like Alzheimer's and age-related memory loss. One of my favorite studies is this longevity study. So this study followed 882 older adults for 12 years to see how closely their diet matched the mind diet and what impact it had on overall mortality risk. Those who followed the diet most closely aligned with the mind diet had a 37% lower risk of dying from all causes compared to those whose diet least resembled the mind guidelines. This means that the mind diet doesn't just protect brain health, it actually increases overall longevity. How does it do this? By reducing inflammation, oxidative stress, and improving cardiovascular health. The mind diet extends beyond just protecting the brain. It contributes to a longer, healthier life overall. So what's the bottom line? Your diet today shapes your brain health for years to come. And the science is clear. A brain healthy diet can reduce the risk of Alzheimer's by over 50%. It preserves brain volume, protects memory, and slows cognitive decline. It even reduces physical markers of Alzheimer's like beta amyloid plaque buildup, and beyond the brain, it lowers overall mortality risk, helping you to live longer and healthier. And again, the best part is that you don't need to follow it perfectly to see benefits. Even moderate adherence leads to better cognitive function and a longer life. To end off this video, I want to share some simple tips to help you get started. It really doesn't have to be overwhelming. Making simple swaps can make a huge difference in how you feel. So where can you start? Start adding leafy greens and whole grains to meals. Choose fish, beans, or poultry over red meat. Snack on things like nuts and berries instead of processed snacks. Use olive oil instead of butter or margarine. Cut back on things like cheese and fried foods. And most importantly, give yourself time to build these habits. Every step forward is a win for your brain. And following the mind diet is an amazing first step to fueling your brain, protecting your memory, and supporting long-term cognitive health. Here's the last point that I want to end up with here. The best diet isn't just the one that's backed by research, it's the one that specifically addresses the dysfunctions in your body. And this is exactly what I help my clients do. When it comes to maximizing brain performance, there are 7 key dysfunctions that can hold you back no matter how healthy you eat. They are blood sugar dysregulation, so spikes and crashes that drain your energy and cause brain fog, chronic inflammation. This is a silent contributor to memory loss and brain fatigue. Gut imbalances. Your gut and your brain are directly connected, and poor gut health can lead to mood swings and brain fog. Nutrient deficiencies. Even the best diet can't work if your body is not absorbing what it needs. Hormonal imbalances, so things like cortisol, estrogen, and other hormones play a major role in brain function and energy levels. Mitochondrial dysfunction is another one, so this is your cell's energy production system, which impacts focus, stamina, and brain power. And let's not forget detoxification issues. If your liver and detox pathways aren't working optimally, then toxins can build up and affect cognitive function. If you've been eating healthy but still feel stuck, whether it's in low energy, brain fog, or a lack of focus, it's time to take a deeper look at what's really happening in your body. And that's exactly what we do in my breakthrough session, where we identify the root dysfunctions holding you back and create a personalized strategy to optimize your brain. So if you're ready to finally feel your best, book a session with me using the link below. And let me know in the comments, what brain boosting topic or supplement should I cover next? I love digging into the science and bringing you actionable strategies, so let's keep the conversation going. If you found this video to be helpful, hit the like, subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. See you in the next one.